Hello, welcome to Scrap Time. My name's Christine, and this is part of the Inky background series. And we are going to be using watercolor paints, and the ones I use are from Kuretake. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I created this water-stained background. And this is what I really love about watercolor paints, is when you're getting like these stains and this texture happening into your background. Now the first thing I do is I always spritz my paints. I know because I've used blues and greens and yellows here, I'm going to do the red and orange yellow palette for my demo. And I'm working on a watercolor paper. So I also want to make sure that when I'm doing this, my brush is quite wet. And so I start mainly by putting a blob of paint down, maybe a bit more water. And other people might do it another way. This is sort of how I do it. It's a little controlled. And then I'm going to dry it. And it's starting to just get a little bit of texture. We go over this again later, so this is just the starting point. So next maybe I'll take some orange. I'm going to squirt a bit more in there. But I'll overlap it with my red. And again, add that water. And then dry it. So it's sort of, you go back and forth. This one now you see a little bit more of the staining happening in here. So this time I think I'll pick up some yellow. Do some down here, but of course I'm always overlapping my colors and adding more water into them. I think I'll go back to the orange. I think I'll live on the edge and do two colors. And then I'll do some pink down here. And I'll dry those both at the same time. Now I'm swirling it around a bit because there's a lot of extra water, and just to see what that excess water and pigment does. And the other thing you can do is if there's still excess, we just get a paper towel and pick some up, and that will form some more sort of markings here. So I'm going to go back to that yellow water. I'm going to fill it in here, overlap, and then I think I'm going to go up here a bit. Go in with some water. And I'll just do one more thing of pink and then we'll move on to the next stage so you can see how you get more. I'm going to fill this all in. Okay, so I have it like that, and although I've gotten some of the water things, I don't have the level I want. And so now I'm just going to go in with my brush and water and put water like overlapping it all. And I can bring it down into parts that doesn't have paint. So now it's a lot of drying. I know there's a lot of time spent. I'm just moving the water around because it's forming some of its own lines like in here. So you can see we're starting to get more now that just by adding that water. This is sort of when the magic happens, is after you have some of your paint down and we just go back in with the water. So it's not completely dry, that's why it's still a little wrinkly. But just so you can see, and on this one, how you can get those lines. So it's just by, I kept going in with the water and the water is pushing the pigments aside, and that's what's forming the lines. The more you go in with water, the more it pushes, and you can create more and more of these little water stains throughout your project. And I think that's what makes a really interesting background to work on, because it has that texture, but it's still within your colors, so it doesn't distract from your background at this point. So that is how you can create a water stained background using your watercolor paints. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give our video a thumbs up and subscribe to Scrap Time videos on YouTube. And for more Inky backgrounds, be sure to check out the Inky background playlist.